A number of Colorado stars were invited and accepted their invitation to the East West Shrine Game, an all star game put on every single year this year in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. But one of the more prestigious all star games for seniors, the Reese Senior Bowl, they're not going to get any of the Colorado stars. But why? I think there was a tweet put out by a big time reporter out of Dallas that may explain why all the Colorado stars are going to the East West Shrine game and none, at least as of yet, are headed to the Reese's Senior Bowl. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. This is interesting. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsYJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, one morning on Wednesday morning, the East West Shrine game just announced a bevy of Colorado stars that are going to play in their All-Star game this upcoming after the season's over. I think the game will be played in December. Maybe January. I don't know. Let's see, what day is the East West Shrine game going to be played in? Doesn't even say January 30th, 2025. So yeah, Jen, and this is the LeJontay Wester post, but there was like for an hour straight, they were just posting Colorado guys. So I think it started with Shedeur. So they announced that's the big one. I mean, just being honest, like there's no disrespect to everybody else. All of them are stars, but Shedeur's the big one. And I think that's the one that may have caught if anybody was going to get caught off guard by every single Colorado star going to the East West Shrine game. It starts with Shedeur. So they started with Shedeur, with the Shilo, Will Shepard, LeJontay Wester, Cameron Simon Craig, Jimmy Horn. And then, yeah, just different tweets about the guys, all the Colorado guys going to the East West Shrine game. Now, if you don't know, kind of give you some background context. East West Shrine game is one of two major kind of all-star games after the season, pre-draft process all-star games. So it's pre-NFL draft, pre-combine, but it's to kind of show off your skills with pads on against other players for the scouts. It's pre-pro day, pre-combine, pre-everything. And there's two big ones. There's a bunch of them. Let's not get it twisted. There's a bunch of like all-star games, pre-draft process type of games, but there's two big ones. It is the East West Shrine game, the one that all the Colorado stars are going to. But then there's the biggest one that's typically considered the biggest. That's the Reese's Senior Bowl. Now, the Reese's Senior Bowl, that's the one that's probably had the most players drafted from it, the most first round picks. Like a lot of the big time schools, kids that are seniors go to the Reese's Senior Bowl. The problem with the Reese's Senior Bowl, and I think this is why the Colorado Stars are going to the East West Shrine game, is that the Reese's Senior Bowl is played in Mobile, Alabama. It's not like a knock to Mobile, Alabama. I've never been there, and I'd like to go to the Senior Bowl one day, but it is played in Mobile, Alabama. The East West Shrine game, I think they move it around sometimes, but this year it's played in Arlington, Texas, which is the home of the Dallas Cowboys, which also happens to be the stomping grounds of the Sanders family. The Coach Prime estate is in the Dallas, Arlington, Fort Worth, Texas area, right? Shedeur went to Trinity Christian, which is in that same area. So did Shilo. So they're from that area. Coach Prime played for the Dallas Cowboys. They're playing in the Star. There's the talk of Deion potentially, I don't think he will, but potentially leaving Colorado to go to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are so bad this year, they could end up with the number one pick, and people are entertaining the thought of them trading away Dak Prescott and drafting Shedeur Sanders. So what better audition for potentially your new boss if you're Shedeur Sanders than to go play in his backyard, than to go play at the Star where they play, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, will Shedeur actually play in the game? I don't know. I don't know if he will. He may. I wouldn't if I was him. Number one overall picks or potential top 5 picks don't usually play in these games. I wouldn't play, but it's a good showcase to show off his skills, to talk to the scouts, to run the drills, to do all of those things. Like that's why he's accepted the invitation. I just wouldn't play in the game. Plenty of kids go down there, practice, show off their skills, do all the interviews and the questions and all that stuff with all the scouts and GMs. And why wouldn't you go potentially if you end up? Because I think Shedeur wants to play for the Raiders. I made that clear. I think he tweets out, "Thank you, God," every time the Raiders lose. Tom Brady's a part of the ownership. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. All that makes sense. At the same time, though, I don't think he or Prime would be mad if he played for the Dallas Cowboys. I just didn't think Dallas was realistic after they gave Dak $240 million, but they've been so bad, and that Dak contract is so bad. And now they actually have a legitimate shot of getting Shedeur, because I didn't think Dallas would be bad enough preseason to draft Shedeur Sanders. I didn't think they'd be good, but I didn't think they'd be in contention for the number 1 overall pick. Needless to say, this is also another thing. Typically, as someone, I cover college football for different teams or whatever, and typically, even if 6 players from Colorado is going to play in the East-West Shrine game or have accepted invitations to the East-West Shrine game, typically, when you have, guys all together, and let me just go ahead and show you, typically you get the split up, because that's another thing. You can't play in both the East-West Shrine game and the Reese Senior Bowl. Like you do one or the other. And typically when you have this much star power, like 3 would go play in the East-West Shrine game, and then the other 3 would go play in the Senior Bowl, especially since the Senior Bowl is typically, in most circles, considered the more prestigious event. But to have all 6 of your stars decide to play in the East-West Shrine game, I think has a lot to do with the fact that they have amenities and luxuries in the Dallas area that they wouldn't have in Mobile. And so East-West Shrine game almost is lucky that they're in Dallas, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. That's where their game's going to be played. And the Senior Bowl each and every single year is played in Mobile, Alabama. And what brought that into context, because that would have never crossed my mind. I don't know, maybe later, but it wouldn't. But someone who actually covers the Dallas Cowboys, Clarence Hill Jr., he's covered the Cowboys for 25 years, I want to say. Like, Clarence Hill has been on top of, covering Dallas, covering Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys and stuff. And so even when he saw this, he said, Colorado ain't going to Mobile. And I just thought that was funny, because it's true. None of the guys are going to Mobile. And that's not to say Tyler Brown or somebody can't get an invite from the Reese Senior Bowl and won't take it. But the guys who are getting postseason invitations got them. From Colorado, got them. Those are the 6 we just showed. The wide receiving core: Shilo, Shedeur, Cameron Simon-Craig. If you ain't get an invite to the East-West Shrine game, the chances of you getting an invite to the Reese Senior Bowl is slim to none. And so it's just funny seeing a guy who has covered the Dallas Cowboys for the better part of 30 years, who knows Jerry Jones, who knows the ins and outs of how those things work. It's like, Colorado ain't going to Mobile. Mobile being the home of the Reese Senior Bowl. I thought that was funny, and it brought all of this into context to me. It's like, oh, yeah, they can play in Arlington, Texas. They can play in the home of the Dallas Cowboys, where they know Jerry, where they know the area, where their friends, family, and whoever can come see them directly while they're there. And once again, I don't think Shedeur, I wouldn't recommend him playing, is going to actually play in the game. But at the same time, he can practice. He can talk to scouts. He can do the interviews, pre-draft workouts, all kinds of just running drills, all kinds of stuff to allow the scouts to see him. And if you're in the top 5, you're going to have a chance of getting them more than likely. I just thought this was funny. Because for example, a guy like Cam Ward, who's considered, number 2 quarterback, or 1B to Shedeur's 1A or whatever in the NFL draft, he's probably going to be at the Senior Bowl. If he does any of these things, he's probably going to be at the Reese Senior Bowl, which is typically where most people, if you had a guess before this came out, where Shedeur would be, he would have guessed the Reese Senior Bowl. But with this game being in Arlington, Texas, being in Dallas, being in Jerry World, home of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, and potentially with the Cowboys having potentially the number 1 overall pick or draft pick high enough to potentially snag a Shedeur Sanders, especially if they're in the game of trying to get Deion to leave Colorado and come be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Very, very strategic move by both Coach Prime and his boys there at Colorado, all the Colorado Stars, deciding to pass on the Reese Senior Bowl and to play in the East-West Shrine game. I love it, though. I love everything about all of this. I'm just interested to see Interested to see how that goes. But Colorado's got a bunch of games to still win this rest of the year. They got games to win, a Big 12 championship to win, and to get into that 12-team playoff before we really get into this. But I just thought this was interesting as the East-West Shrine game announced a bunch of all these Colorado stars going to play in their game this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload all the time. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and X at JLightsy7. That is Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button before you leave. I'll see you next time. Peace.